Hey, you are now tuned in to Live Action Music Studios. And I'm here. It's your boy Goldfingaz. I'm live. Shout out to Instagram, YouTube. Y'all make sure y'all follow us. I'm here with the amazing Grammy Award winning engineer, y'all. Let's give it up for my man, Patt Olguin from Velvet Tone Studios, y'all. How you doing today?
Good. Hi, everybody.
Good. Man, it's such a pleasure to have you on this show. Man, I know you've been doing a lot of recording, helping artists. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, pleasure's all mine.
Live Action is one of the best in the city, and man, they sponsor me on Fireworks TV, so here we are.
That's great. Happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you. So I wanted to touch on a few topics on just recording.
Yeah.
Because I know you're one of the best, of course, and also a longtime friend.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. Shout out to my sponsors, too. Go to Bed, Good Stuff Soil. Come get your free delivery soil whenever you need it. Just hit us up. That's goodstuffsoil.com. Make sure you, if you need some beats, bestrapbeats.com. We are all over the internet. But yeah, so first thing I want to get into is so where were you born and raised? Is it Sacramento or?
Man, okay, that's two different questions because born-wise, I was born in Jackson, Michigan.
Okay.
And I've never been there in my life other than being born. So
Jackson, Michigan, that's very interesting. I've never been.
My little sister's been there. She says it's quite nice. So I believe her.
That's what's up.
Yeah, raised-wise, I was pretty much raised in the Southwest.
Okay.
Yeah, New Mexico, little town called Truth or Consequences.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's very
what most people say after I say that.
So, tu habla español?
What language is that? Sí, un poquito.
Right.
Yeah.
Got you. That's what's up, man. So, when you was growing up, like, was you in music in high school, or how did this come about?
Oh, man, it's my family's, I had members of the family that were inspiring.
Okay.
I had an uncle.
Mm-hmm.
He just passed away a few years ago, but
recipe.
Great influence on me. Mm-hmm. He was a country artist.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he was great. It's just amazing listening to his music on vinyl, and
I felt like
being inspired.
Working with you, I also get like a country vibe, but I'm still like caught up, amazed how you mix R&B, hip hop,
it's funny. It's like my whole roots. I spent my summers on a ranch working on my grandparents' ranch.
Oh, okay.
And so that's where the country
studio,
fucking me comes from,
Exactly. I walk in the studio, I'm like, man, it's got that. I just want to write a hit, like something that I can take, with me down south, or get one of those good country vibes.
Yeah, and the rap and R&B and hip hop stuff, that all. We're in Sacramento, man. It's like if you're just sticking to one particular kind of music, you're not going to go very far in Sacramento.
I'm glad
you can get away with that in LA, not here.
Yeah, and I'm glad you spoke on that too, because Sacramento, I feel like our city is known for a lot of talent, especially when it comes to live music. I know you record a lot of live musicians.
Yeah.
Any groups in specific you want to talk about? I know you did some stuff with Black Eyed Peas. Tesla.
Yeah. We did some stuff on the. Everybody thinks it's the first Black Eyed Peas record, but it was actually the third. It was Elephant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so and the guys from Popa Roach got me on that record, which was nice because they'd been on the Warped Tour and wanted to do a collaboration. So they asked if I could host it at my studio. I said, yeah, sure. So
they're such a blessing too. I always hear cool stories about them.
Yeah. And so everybody thinks that was their first record, but it was actually their third. They had two before that too. You probably know that.
And how was it doing that album? Was it stressful? Was it relaxing?
No, just technology was changing a little bit, so we were going from an analog studio to what we thought was going to be a completely digital studio, and so on the digital side of things, it was a little bit dicey.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that stuck out for me on that was just we were doing a live drum track,
Mm-hmm.
and the drummer's practice kit had shown up a day before.
Oh, wow.
And they were rehearsing on it and writing songs in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
And so he got on the drums, was playing it. They were working out parts.
Mm-hmm.
And they ended up going with the rehearsal stuff that he was doing rather than
the actual recording.
Yeah, and
crazy.
I had the mic so fucking ghetto mic'd up. It's not even funny.
That is hella funny.
Yeah, it's just like I looked at it and I went, "No, you're not using that." And they're like,
"Man, it be like that sometimes."
Yeah,
I mean,
we're using that.
Trying to catch that vibe.
Yeah,
That's
so it was done on his practice kit. We had just thrown mics up there, not paying any attention at all, and it was all mixed. It was all funneled to 2 tracks just because they were practicing. So all the drums, none of the drums were spread out. It's hilarious.
And that's hard to pull off too, by the way, y'all. If y'all not listening, like the way we have to do this music, it's so technical. So like if your engineer is not on point, it's gonna be hell.
Yeah, or it could be, or it could
a musician,
could go on to win a Grammy or get a Grammy nomination.
Exactly, exactly. It could go either way.
Yeah, but and I at that was the one point in my life as an engineer, in my life as a recording engineer, that I figured out it's about song. It's not really about the right mic placement. And,
it's not, huh?
It's like
the
sometimes
production is like
sometimes
what,
you
50%?
sometimes you just got to roll, and when somebody's feeling it, they're feeling it, and there's nothing you can do about it, and you can either be ready for it and at that point in time, I learned I'm just going to spread out the mics onto different tracks, even if they are just rehearsing. So,
wow.
And I roll tape all the time, and at that point I was rolling tape all the time. So when they put it down, it worked out great because I was rolling tape, and the lead singer, who was singing on that particular song, he did not know I was rolling tape, and he goes, "Do that thing you did there." And the drummer said, "What thing?" And he's like, "This thing." And they were arguing, and they couldn't figure out what the thing was he had done. And I said, "You want me to play it back?" And they both looked at me and went, "You recorded that?" So,
right.
And it ended
so
up
that's
on the
a perfect example of the engineer taking the initiative, you would say.
Yeah.
Versus an engineer that's just so technical, or a producer, they go by the book.
You do have to have a little bit of technical ability, or you're gonna have a hard time treading water.
Do you feel like excuse me for eating, these cookies are so good. Thank you, Crumble.
What
and
cookies?
Elk Grove.
What cookies?
Feel free, man. Jump in.
There's a
Crumble.
plastic thing in between me and the cookies for COVID. You guys know that? No. I might have one later.
Shout out to all the doctors and stuff too that's going through it, man, because this COVID stuff is for real. So we want to stay safe. I got my mask too. I don't know if you see me wearing mine, but shout out to Freen. He makes these, man, at the house, man. You know what I'm saying? And it keeps me safe, man. They don't have nothing fancy on it.
Got your name on it and everything. Look at
Follow
that. That's
Freen,
fancy.
Supreme Freen 916 on Instagram, y'all. Y'all can get a Goldfingaz mask, a Fireworks one, maybe even a Velvetone one. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Come on, you got to let me in sooner or later.
I've wanted to make shirts that said unessentials since 2020.
Unessentials.
Welcome to Velvetone Studios, unessential since 2020.
I love it too. I love that.
Yeah.
I would support that for real.
I'd probably sell a lot of them. I just need to get my butt in there.
I think that would
and do
go
it.
pretty viral.
Yeah.
Pretty quick.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. So you worked with Damian Marley.
Oh yeah. Damien came in for a day.
That's
that was
crazy.
Fun. They were just passing through town.
Wow.
Yeah, it was cool.
Velvetone's just a regular day, huh?
Keek the
Sneak.
Keek the Sneak.
Brian Morgan loved to hang out.
Brian Morgan, yeah.
It's one of our favorites from our city. I mean, Bay Area favorites.
Yeah, Brian's great. He's, man, his stuff gets sampled more.
People don't even know how many times SWV has been a tool for the up and coming producers.
Yeah, and he wakes up one morning and somebody sampled his stuff and it went viral or gold.
I
or
always
whatever.
thought I was going to be the one to do it.
Yeah, and it's
But
just
you guys definitely inspired me.
Yeah, but that stuff that Brian does just so timeless. It's people are still using it, and he gets paid for it. It's great.
That's such a blessing.
It's just great to like know that you can create something that's not just going to disappear next year.
Right.
Like most of the stuff that's on the radio right now, or what we call the radio.
I feel
right
like most artists try to upload it just so it won't disappear, but it's still gonna go away.
Yeah.
It's like. But shout out to Apple Music for NGT Digital, all these platforms, Empire Music. Mm-hmm. We just signed a deal with them as well for distribution.
Great.
So that's awesome. So how do you feel about like? I wanted to talk a little bit about Avid, just a small. I know I seen you at NAMM, and I know a lot of engineers use that program. Do you recommend? What's your relationship? If you want to,
Avid's great. They've been good to me, but I've been good to them too.
That's such a blessing.
If they ask me, one year they asked me to use my artist's tracks. I don't even know if I stemmed them out for them or anything like that. But you walk in, and she's there on the big screen, and it's like, and they kick me down stuff for it.
That's super cool.
It's a nice relationship.
Will they let you tell us who the artist is?
Felice Lizé, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna definitely look her music up.
Yeah, look her. She's great, man. There's this last record she did. I had a great time working on that.
I know if you touching it, it's fire.
Yeah, I had a great.
Sure.
Well, it's a team thing too. I mean, there's other people
got a
working
big team
on it too. Well, some people that I brought in, I've got a friend named Brendan Duffy, and he did the mastering on it. He did a great job on it. And,
awesome.
It's not just me,
Right.
But
that makes sense.
And her producer Tony.
Some guys you feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
You trust their ear, they trust you kind of deal.
Yeah, exactly. And of course she did some great writing on the record. And,
how important is that for you to have a second ear or like somebody around you that kind of understands your lingo?
To me it's scary just trying to like figure stuff out for yourself.
Right.
I look at it like this, if you throw one person in the water and tell them to swim, they're probably going to be okay. But if you throw 5 people in there and you're all collectively swimming, you're going to help each other out and out of a bad situation. I'm not saying the music industry is a bad situation, but I like bouncing stuff off of people and getting feedback, and I have a group of people that are brutally honest with me, and I'll send them stuff and I'll say, hey, I'm mixing this thing. How does it sound?
That's funny.
Can you put your ear on it and please don't lie to me? If it sounds bad. Do
you mind sharing who might be one of your favorites? I know you said Michael he's one of your favorite go-to guys as far as something like that, or an engineer. Partner, some people you worked with?
Oh, just like collaborating with? Or?
Yeah, or just, like you said, people you trust if you had an extra ear.
Just people you probably wouldn't even know. Just everyday Joe, my friend Rich.
Okay, that's super sick, though.
I have a couple friends in LA that I send
These
stuff
are
to.
Secret tips, y'all. I hope you producers out there are listening, man. This is one of the...
You got to send this stuff to people who aren't in the industry. That's the trick. It's like,
because I had a few guys that was like, they take my mixes and they go, this doesn't sound right in the car, and it's like, well, what kind of car are you driving?
Yeah. Or, hey, there's no bass in this at all, and then you figure out they're listening to it on their phone with no earbuds in, and you're sitting there like working your ass off for a week trying to make the bass right.
Like, how do you manage to get through that? Is that one of your most difficult obstacles?
That's been the most difficult obstacle in the past 10 years. Is just everything on our mobile devices, and people don't care that it sounds like a telephone.
Right, because now they got the app where you can kind of see where your mix is gonna go.
Yeah, you can do that. But I when I mix stuff, I always put earbuds in.
Okay.
So I can at least get an idea of what people were like. So
That's interesting.
So I listen through earbuds.
Wow.
As well as I've got 2 sets of speakers that I like in the studio, and some headphones that I'll listen through.
And your studio is so nice, man. The way you designed it, down to
Thank
the
you.
floor, the B room. I feel
you.
like you always use state of the art gear.
Yeah. The B room's been fun. We just put that in this year, or I'm sorry, no, we put that in 2020, beginning of 2020.
Okay.
Right before COVID hit.
And how long you been there, if you want to share?
25, 30 years maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I was a puppy coming in there. I had a little keyboard or something with some dust on it.
Well, I was only 2 years old. I'm 32 right now.
Exactly. We don't want to give up too much game, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, so the B room's great too, because I can bring mixes in there and listen to them in there, and that's a whole.
The B room is sick.
It's a whole other reference.
You got the new screen with the
the Raven system thing. Yeah, that's a no brainer. They're the Ravens are super cheap.
Mm-hmm.
They
Clean
get the job
look.
done. Yeah.
I might even go that route. I'm old school. I'm a dinosaur still.
Yeah, People like it. I was talking to your boy in there. He was. We were talking about the Raven earlier. And it's like, people like it. You got your device, your iPads, and you get on the Raven. It's like a huge iPad, and people like that. It's familiar.
It's fun, huh?
And makes it
really fun.
Makes them want to jump on it and just immediately start working. Whereas if you have a board, especially a digital board, and you have a board and it's got buttons, knobs, and lights everywhere, people are going to be a little bit more intimidated to get on the board.
Sure.
Yeah.
I always admired you, DJ Quick, G1. Those boards were just looking like problems to me. I would go look at them and be like,
they are
just
actually.
Turn the kick up.
Well, it's just funny because it's a little bit of a fight, but it's not as big of a fight as.
It's really not though. It's all the same.
Yeah, every once in a while you got to push on the module to get it to see right, and then all of a sudden pop, the sound
Make
comes
sure ain't
on.
no sugar or no syrup ain't on there, from last night's dinner or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it can get a little crazy maintenance wise, but I know how to fix anything, so I'm fine with that.
Oh
man, I like fixing stuff.
That's what I wanted to talk about too.
Okay.
I'm glad you did that. So
you need me to fix something, is what you're saying?
Right, exactly. Man, that was my second question, but now I'm just playing. So you on the audio stuff, I've seen you crack some stuff open.
Mm-hmm. I'll do it in the middle of a session. I don't give a.
Yeah, I'm like your mix board's half open. Like, what's going on? So you're like a real technical.
Yeah.
And that just came.
You should see me on other people's stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It scares them. But yeah, I can fix it. If I have a schematic and parts, I can fix anything.
Your speakers are custom. They look different.
They're not custom. I use ATC 300s. They're the big ATC 300s.
Because you're not going to just go in a Guitar Center and find what you work with.
No, well, I think Guitar Center probably does carry the ATC line of speakers, but I'm pretty sure mine would be special order.
Yours is super exclusive.
Yeah, I think they make them.
You're like the Michael Jordan of studios.
Yeah, well, I know there's not another pair in Sacramento. And,
you even got some favorite mics that I was going to look forward to doing my next stuff on. Me and Nehemiah as well. He does a bunch of gospel stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've been doing this for a long time. You like working in Sac, LA? What's your favorite?
I like. I don't. When I'm working, and I don't get out of the studio anyway. So I just like to be in a good atmosphere and
good music.
Doesn't matter where it's at on the planet. Yeah, good music, good food.
I know you like soul food.
Man,
with the banana pudding.
Man. I just had South today. Big shout out to South.
South rules the Sacramento.
Oh my God,
they rule.
That place is
the
just,
chicken and the exclusive.
It's just stupid.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
And you go and then they bring your chicken out like just so quick.
You're going to make me want to just take you there right after this conversation.
I still have to finish the stuff that I got earlier today from South.
I almost ordered some, but I was like, he might be there already.
Big shout out to South, man. You have fed so many session players. Ooh. You may not even know that. You have no idea.
They need to give special Uber Eats or something.
That's what I'm working on, yeah.
That should be our next, yeah. And plug me in for this one,
So if you're listening, South, you got a lifetime card. I know you do. I've seen Jimmy Page's Poyo Poyo card.
That's funny.
Or Perry. What's the name of that place on the east? Anyway, he's got a card. I want my own card.
That's funny. That's hilarious. So, any other places you recommend eating, traveling? What like favorite restaurants?
Man, South.
You're really shooting for that one, huh? I'm not mad at you though.
You know, it's just kind of difficult with COVID because I don't know who's really open anymore.
That's true.
You know, unfortunately, Sacramento's going through a renaissance right now. I'm going to call it a renaissance because I don't like slamming my own town. So I'm going to call it a renaissance.
I love Sacktown. Shout out to Sacktown, too.
Big shout out.
It's the city.
But they're going through a renaissance, and you know,
change is good.
The restaurant scene is changing a lot.
A lot.
In Sacramento.
I'm starting to see more people cook from home, too, due to the delivery thing.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's just kind of, things are kind of changing. I like Los Cerritos.
Los Cerritos, I never.
Big shout out to them. They're they're off of Broadway.
Okay.
Great Mexican food. Haven't changed.
Oh yeah, right there.
Haven't changed their prices since the 30s forever. Or something like that.
I used to eat that all the time.
Yeah. Really good food. Cross the street from Taco Bell. Can I say that on the air?
I know, right?
Cross the street from Taco Bell, and it's hilarious because the food's 10 times better.
Everybody pulling up. Nobody's stopping at Taco Bell, y'all.
Yeah, just pass by Taco Bell, support your local restaurants. Mm-hmm. Go to Los Cerritos. Yeah.
Speaking of that,
and I need a card from Los Cerritos too, by the way.
Y'all got work to do on our show, y'all. Y'all know that, right? We got a lot of local business owners too. Shout out to those guys in the city. Go to bed as well. So what's your favorite or perfect idea of a mixing session? Like, what does that look like?
Oh, wow. Stuff, you know, technically, as far as technical things.
Yeah, like the record wise.
You know, when I get a mix, I like to see all the tracks labeled.
Okay.
Makes it easier on me. I don't have to sort through and figure things out.
Does it matter if the drums are digital or live? It don't matter.
Doesn't whatever's appropriate. You know, I'm not the producer.
You're not in love with live drums only?
Well, no, not necessarily.
I feel like you're fibbing. Because if I came in there with a boom, boom, God, you would look at me a certain way sometimes.
You know, I can't really say that I'm stuck on live drums.
But then sometimes I come in there, you're like, okay, this the one.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
I agree with you. I'm both.
But I will tell you though, I love the fight.
Okay.
I mean, I love the frustration.
I love mixing two 808s that don't make sense. That was my thing.
Yeah,
it was like, fix this.
And that's hard. And see, you just said a mouthful there because when you combine two 808s, you're just asking for trouble. It's like it
don't even make sense. You could have just been like, let's rearrange this. That's more of an easier.
I mean, and that goes to show you, hey, you know, it's not just live drums that are hard to mix.
That's true.
That's to me, that's a lost art.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have all these samples everywhere, and people, you know, in these triggering devices or triggering programs or plugins, it's just been a crutch for most people, I think, because it's easy. You know, if you can throw samples in there and replace the real drums with samples, you can get the job done in, 15 minutes as opposed to, a few hours.
Producers, are you listening?
But I like the challenge of a real drum set and trying to get them to sound good. And it's funny, Nehemiah was in the studio the other day, and you guys were talking about that, and Nehemiah was saying, yeah, people don't know it, but Pat uses samples and things like that. It's like, I do not. It's hilarious because
drum replacer.
I will fight and fight and fight and fight those drums until they sound good.
That's true.
And avoid samples as much as I possibly can, because I think I'm not good at that.
Right.
I'm not good at putting a sample in there. It always sounds like a drum machine to me.
He said it's
and
not,
I don't know too
one,
many people that are good at that. I've only ever really maybe heard a couple things recently that are supposed to be live drums that were really convincing. Most of the time they just sound like drum machines,
I mean, if you can get the feel either way, I feel like you kind of on your way to getting the Grammy.
There's an appropriate way to do it too, I mean, you
more mature.
You can make a drum machine have a good feel also. I mean, it's just like back in the days with the old MPC.
SP12. I see you got one in there too.
But I got an old MPC. But you hit quantize on those things, and those little computers are horrendous. They're like, what do you mean quantize?
What is
That's
a
a lot of work. Well,
right.
We're just going to kind of quantize it for you, but we're not going to go all the way
really
because
push it up.
we're on strike or
quantize?
whatever. But yeah, so you hit the quantize button, and it doesn't completely just stick everything
weird.
to the
It's
grid.
like almost a millisecond. It's weird.
Well, it's not really on any kind of grid at all.
It's just doing whatever.
But it does it. It pulls it closer in, and it's got a really good feel. So it's like 2 might be a little bit laid back, and 4 might be a little laid back.
Right.
1 might be pushing it a little bit, and 3 might be just right on. But
That's
it
funny.
feels good, and that's why people use those things back then. Nowadays, if it is a thing about feel too, because it really, when it all boils down to it, it's all about the song and what's this song giving me, how's this song making me feel. You can actually get people to have feelings about the way it sounds too, and I think that might be a little bit more subliminal, and not so in your face as far as I don't know why I'm feeling this way, but I'm feeling this way, and I can't put my finger on it. So that might be, okay,
vibration.
the sound's affecting them a little bit, right? But with a song, people go, hey, man, I can relate to this, It's like, I cheated on my wife, man. I can relate to that. And, and
it's so true.
And, my wife killed somebody one time, and I can relate to that song, and so that's a more immediate, connection to the song. But sound-wise, it's just like people don't really understand that, if they're going through some kind of emotion that they can't figure out, It's like, why do I cry every time this song comes on? Because Pat mixed it.
You can actually hear the vocals.
I hope that's the way. I hope I got people to cry, But
nah, that's one of the reasons why I cried. That's why I had to call you. But so the difference between a good engineer and a Grammy Award winning engineer, I just wanted to.
Oh man, luck.
I thought you was gonna say hard work or something.
Luck.
Okay.
Luck and just working a lot, because I think if you throw enough crap on a wall, some of it's going to stick every once in a while. Yeah, and I think, and I think there's a certain amount of skill involved, because I don't know, I still think
it's hard to tell.
I think it's mostly just luck.
Yeah, because I've seen guys, and I'd be like, well, what's the difference? And and then you see on the other end.
Yeah,
vice versa.
There's also there's a certain amount of skill you have to have. You have to be competent at your job as a recording engineer or a mixer or whatever.
Producer,
whatever you're doing, or if you get an Album of the Year Grammy, that's the type of thing where it's like, well, geez, all I did was tune some vocals on it record, and they gave me a Grammy because they give everybody a Grammy for the album of the year.
Was a team effort?
Yeah, that's exactly, it's album of the year. It's not producer of the year, it's not best artist, it's actually an album. So they just kind of say, okay, here, everybody take one.
That's cool.
But yeah, so a lot of it's luck, because you have to be around good people, and you have to somehow.
So it's not all production skills.
But somehow
work, of course,
that needs to be presented to you
at some point
in order for you to take advantage of it.
Right.
And, there's probably some people that would consider it good networking. If.
So you don't necessarily have to be in LA, because you and Sac doing a lot.
Well, I did go to LA for a few years to make contacts.
Okay. So that's important.
I thought that was important. And you bring that back with you, and then people come back.
Oh,
it's like, hey, got a new studio. You should fly up here and check it out. And that's how you get people.
That's how you get it going, huh?
And the great thing about LA is that big artists that live in LA, their friends and family are there a lot of times too. So when they're in the studio, they get bothered.
So they want to come here and come see you.
So it's like, I got to get out of town.
I got to go see Pat.
I got to leave. I got to work somewhere else.
Got to come see Goldie, somebody.
Yeah. It's like, I'm not getting anything done in town because all my friends are coming by, and
I feel the same way though. Like me too. I have to bounce out, bounce back.
Yeah.
It can get crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how do you feel about interns? Like when you working with an engine, because you got to be taking your flights and booking your session. It just gets overwhelming. How do you?
Yeah, as far as like traveling, interns when traveling.
No, I'm just saying, like, do you let intern or somebody run your facility while you gone, or are you just there full time, kind of cancel out when you travel, or how does that work?
When it's busy and I have work for somebody else, if I'm out of town, I'll call an engineer and say, hey, I can't do this. Can you do it for me? So,
because I've heard a couple guys like say, I've worked with Pat, and I've had studios over here, and
yeah, Well, the difficult thing about it is that when you're, I have a studio more out of convenience, because I don't want to have to book a studio. If somebody says, hey, I want you to mix something for me, then I got to get on the horn and go, hey, you got time available here? Oh, no, you don't. You got time available? Oh, no, you don't. You got time,
Right.
And it makes it a little bit more difficult to get things booked. So I have a studio. It's got everything I want in there.
You don't have to go nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. I can just, So a lot of times when I'm out of town, if I'm not available, people don't really book my studio for the studio itself. They book it for me.
That makes sense.
And
that's how I feel too. It's like y'all either gotta wait or just
a lot of times they'll just say,
they don't want
I'd rather
the
wait till you get back in town.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
they want the drums professional as possible.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Cool. Any other brands or companies that you might be looking forward to this year that you could possibly?
Man, it's been a crazy year.
It's gonna go up, I know, from here for sure.
Yeah, for everybody watching and listening right now, if you're, you all know today, for the live people, we're still in the COVID situation,
right?
And for all the people who are just playing this back as a rerun, do we call it a rerun on these things?
Yeah, I guess we could call it a rerun.
We'll call it a rerun. So everybody rerunning this. We're still in COVID times right now.
Yeah. So we got to be safe.
It's kind of crazy. I think people are reinventing things, reinventing themselves. I've got a friend in LA who's working on a musical. It's a live musical over the internet.
Oh, wow.
And these actors get on there and they do I think from the way she was describing it to me, they do like a 3-day show thing, and it's live, and they can fuck up, and you can hear them fuck up immediately and laugh at them if you want.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So and So that's a whole different thing.
A new wave.
And from what I got, I think they're doing it from different part, from wherever they're isolated at or whatever. I don't think a whole lot of them are together when they're doing it. So I think they're doing these plays from different places, and it's just all kind of coming together. And that kind of stuff blows me away because it's just. But I you think about stuff like that when you hear about stuff like that, and you think, oh wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
and that's inventive, and that's just somebody. So I was thinking about getting involved in something like that and just checking it out, seeing how that goes.
I mean, why not? I mean, you're the best.
I'm not the best, but
I mean, you wouldn't be if you was on my show, obviously.
There's a lot of people that I really, really look up to, and it's just really,
Shout out to Digital D. That was one of my guys back then.
Yeah,
I wanted to surprise you with a phone call from him, but we'll get him next time.
Oh man,
yeah, we'll have to get him on FaceTime.
Yeah, I think about him every time I'm on a bike ride, and because he took me to Scott's seafood.
Oh wow!
For my birthday one year, and I thought I owe Didge some seafood from Scott's.
He loves seafood. That's where I seen him at. We was eating seafood.
Exactly. Yeah, he loves seafood. Yeah. So
we'll have to do that
I think about him every time I go by there, and I think I just need to call him, and just say hi at least, And
oh yeah, for sure. That's family.
Yeah.
Shout out to them. Anything else you want to say before we get out of here? We skipped a commercial break, as y'all can see.
Oh, we did.
The interview is just so amazing, and the vibe.
Yeah.
So I'm just chilling.
All right. How much time do we have?
We can do whatever we want. I mean, it's our show.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know.
We go to commercial. Y'all want a commercial break, or y'all just want to wrap this thing up? I think we hit a lot of topics, man, and I appreciate it for having you. Like I said, we gonna do it again.
Yeah, it's fun. Been
all
fun.
day.
Yeah.
I feel like working with you is like the best. Dr. Dre.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So,
thank you, Live Action Music. Shout out to all my followers out there at Goldfingaz 916. Y'all make sure y'all follow Pat, one of the best in the city. That's at Velvetone.
VelvetoneStudios.com.
And there it is. Live Action Music Studios.
I'm in the studio of a legend, Goldfingaz. Let him touch it, God bless him. Sammy Winner. Fireworks records.
Yeah, I think we might be good.